Episode 2 Part 1 Rules 1 to 5. A system is a set of relationships that produces an outcome. Some relationships are negotiable. You can change them, argue about them, replace them, and the system continues. Some relationships are not negotiable. Change them, and the system becomes a different system, or stops being a system at all. The question is, which is which? A substrate is any layer whose failure produces immediate, non-negotiable degradation of survival, output, or system stability, independent of belief, intent, or interpretation. The rules are questions. You take them into a system, a farm, a factory, a family, a nation, and you ask them, one by one. Each rule is a different angle, a different way of seeing what's actually constraining behavior. You are looking for the layer that, if removed or violated, would cause the system to degrade before you could do anything about it. That layer is the substrate. Everything else is mediation. Rule 1. Failure immediacy test. If this layer fails, does the system degrade before a political, moral, or interpretive response is possible? Gravity. Degradation is instantaneous. No response possible. Substrate. Stock market. Degradation happens, but response is possible. Central banks can cut rates. Governments can pass stimulus. There's time to talk. Mediation. Soil exhaustion takes decades to fully play out. But the first season of yield decline arrives before any policy cycle can respond. The test watches for the moment when the first irreversible degradation occurs, not the moment collapse completes. If you have time to hold a meeting before the system begins degrading, it's mediation. If degradation arrives during the meeting, it's the substrate. Rule 2. Non-optional compliance test. Can agents opt out of this layer without incurring existential or irreversible cost? Gravity. No agent can opt out. Jumping is not an exit. It's termination. Substrate. Tax law with loopholes. Agents with accountants and offshore accounts can opt out. The cost is money, not existence. Mediation. Kinship water rights. A typical clan member cannot exit the kinship system without losing water access. In a subsistence context, that cost is existential. Belief about kinship changes nothing. Substrate. Existential means the agent cannot continue as themselves. Death. Homelessness. Starvation. Permanent exclusion. Irreversible loss of livelihood. High financial cost alone is not existential if the agent can absorb it and continue. Rule 3. Cost enforcement test. Is compliance enforced by physics, biology, access, or exclusion, rather than interpretation or authority? Gravity. Physics enforces. No authority required. Substrate. Tax evasion penalty. Authority enforces. You can flee jurisdiction, hide assets, or await a pardon. Mediation. Clan expulsion. Exclusion is social, but the consequence is automatic and biological. Once excluded, no further enforcement is required. The access itself is gone. That's encoded substrate. Rule 4. Measurement independence test. Does this layer require interpretation to function, or does it operate via direct state variables? Soil organic matter. Direct state variable. You can measure it. Crops respond to it. No interpretation required. Substrate. GDP. Requires interpretation. What counts as economic activity? How do you value government services? How do you adjust for inflation? The number is a construct. Mediation. Hunger. Direct biological state. You are either hungry or not. The feeling is the signal. Substrate. Approval rating. Entirely interpretive. No one dies because a poll number drops. Mediation. Rule 5, replaceability test. Can this layer be replaced without restructuring the system? The spokes of a wheel can be replaced. Change the wood, change the color, change the carvings. The wheel still turns. That's mediation. The hub's emptiness, the space that allows the spokes to meet, cannot be replaced without rebuilding the entire wheel. That's substrate. A river. You cannot replace the river. You can dig wells, build canals, or truck water. But those are not substitutions. They are systemic reorganizations. New infrastructure, new labor patterns, new conflict vectors, new maintenance demands. The river's removal means the system fundamentally restructures or dies. A currency symbol. Swap it overnight. Nothing reorganizes. The system continues. Mediation. A skilled electrician. You cannot substitute them. You can train new ones in 4 to 5 years. You can automate some tasks, but automation requires electricians to install and maintain it. You can import them, but credential barriers prevent it. The system cannot substitute. It can only wait for a new generation. The Canadian evidence is devastating. More than 50% of skilled immigrants are overqualified, blocked by credential barriers they cannot bypass. They cannot opt out of needing employment. They cannot opt out of licensing requirements. They can only accept the terms years of retraining, thousands in fees, or accept the consequence. Driving taxis with medical degrees.